and indeed many of the audience here tonight, because I recognise very many people that were here 18 months ago. So welcome back, but welcome to new people that have never been here before. It's my pleasure to basically welcome Dr. Adam Brown from Deakin University to open the show. He's going to say a few words. I'm not going to preempt what he's going to say. I'm just going to say, Adam, please take the stage, and it's all over to you.
Very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much to Tom and to the staff at Tacit for having me around, and for you for coming along on this really special event. It's a great privilege to be here. This is what I really feel is a special event. It's the latest testament to the power of Tom's work, but also the depth of his talent. And I'm very happy to launch the gallery. Hopefully I can invent a booming masculine voice to get over the traffic, so let me know up the back if you can't hear me. As I'm sure many of you here know, Tom is a prolific and multi-award winning artist with a passion for his subject matter that permeates everything he does. He is fast approaching 50 solo exhibitions, if his website is up to date. I don't know if it is. And has contributed to an additional 24 group exhibitions. When I first met Tom in Fremantle, which was back at a trauma conference in December 2008, I was instantly impressed with his personal integrity, the quality of his work, and his dedication to the remembrance of the Holocaust. One noteworthy quality of Tom's artwork is that while he gestures to important facets of the Holocaust, such as Jewish resistance, he never loses sight of the victims suffering under Nazi persecution. Crucially, the way in which Tom understands and communicates the unprecedented nature of the event is heavily influenced by the Italian Jewish survivor of Auschwitz, Primo Levi. This was reflected most directly in Tom's 2011 exhibition, Shipwrecked in the Death Camps of Europe. However, Levi's testimony also impacts on this latest exhibition here. As Levi emphasised in his meditation on the extreme dehumanisation confronting Jews in the camps, to quote Levi, "Our language lacks words to express this offence, the demolition of a man." Reflecting the threat to pre-existing conventions and frameworks that the Holocaust entails, Tom's work simultaneously gestures to historical authenticity through its intertextual links with often well-known archival photographs, while rejecting any mimetic representation or recreation of those events. Implicitly gesturing to the paradox of comprehending the incomprehensible, Tom guides the viewer only so far along the road to understanding, while allowing one's subjectivity and imagination to make sense of his traumatic imagery. My own research and teaching in Holocaust studies over the years, including my own indebtedness to Levi's writings, no doubt frames the prism through which I view Tom's evocative and provocative artwork. I can't help but relate many of the pieces to historical and cultural debates which have not yet, and most likely never will be, resolved. Tom told me earlier that part of the inspiration for many of these paintings was to bring fear back into secluded areas, to reveal that which is not meant to be revealed. This works on two levels, as not only was the nature of the Nazis' intentions shrouded in secrecy to deceive their victims, a secrecy that Tom's artwork subverts, but the settings and experiences with which Tom's paintings are primarily concerned have often been marginalised by scholars, artists and commentators alike. The overwhelming focus on gas chambers and crematoria and concentration camps has only relatively recently been joined by increased attention to Jewish experiences in the forests of Eastern Europe, whether it be as victims of mass shootings or as members of the partisans. The presence of women in resistance groups is also highlighted in this exhibition, without resorting to gendered stereotypes or the voyeuristic tendencies of much popular Holocaust culture, contributing in its own way to countering the male-dominated conceptualisation of the event. And this is another really important aspect of this exhibition that I think Tom does make a contribution to. Yet I find the ambiguity of Tom's work to be its most compelling and most important feature. To take one example, the open mouth and hollowed eyes of one soldier about to shoot a kneeling man in the back of the head generates an emotive expression that resists clear-cut meaning. On the one hand, this characterisation might be taken to connote laughter and disturbing pleasure on the part of the perpetrator, while on the other hand, I felt it might be interpreted as gesturing to the reluctance, hesitation, and in some cases trauma that perpetrators experienced. Something that does not absolve them, of course, but should nevertheless be acknowledged. The debate over perpetrator behaviour was sparked in the 1990s by Daniel Goldhagen's controversial study entitled Hitler's Willing Executioners, which argued that perpetrators were invariably and solely motivated by what he termed exterminationist anti-Semitism. And in the years since, many scholars have countered this monocausal view of perpetrator behaviour by pointing to the roles of the financial benefit, career advancement, the bureaucratisation of murder, and peer pressure. This debate is ongoing. Tom's close-up depiction in another painting of an anonymous, yet at the same time individualised German soldier evokes the dilemma of coming to terms with the fact that perpetrators were not sadistic monsters, but human beings, albeit deeply flawed ones. This painting evokes for me a similar impression to that offered in a poem entitled Nightmare, which is fittingly written by the Irish poet Michael O'Sullivan. Is that right? This is a lot better than what I first told
Sorry, that was pretty good.
It was and I haven't written it down again, which is very purposeful. Exploring the complexities of the behaviour of Police Battalion 101, which was responsible for shooting around 40,000 Polish Jews and deporting an even greater number to their deaths. The poem ambivalently portrays the aftermath of the battalion's first massacre in Joswaw, a small town in Poland. I'm sure there's lots of people who tell me that I'm mispronouncing that as well, which is absolutely justified. So I think that I'll read out this poem to finish, I think. The intersection of Irish artist and Irish poet, who I know is very much an admirer of Tom's, is a fitting way and certainly a valuable way to look at this poem, this painting, which I believe is just around the corner, although I can't see. Is that right? Yes, good, yes. Back at the barracks, horror sinks in. Dismayed or angry, they begin to drink. Oblivion of the bitter and afraid. Again, Trapp will calm his men, tell them others are accountable. Orders are orders. Best not to dwell on it. But those not in the forest will neither ask nor pry, and those who were will try to forget. Suppressed despair. Joswaw, a taboo by consensus and self-excuse. Jews were doomed no matter what, so one more shot counted for little. Not everybody can yet execute infants, but one could only shoot the youngest, as he just can't bear to leave an orphan. Some men declare they'd go mad if they ever had to do the like again. One wakes the night after Joswaw, riddling a barracks roof with bullets. So I'd like to finish by thanking Tom once again for allowing me to be part of this very special event, and I look forward to seeing what's next. Thank you.